Good evening and welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. You're live here with Jason, John, and Mike. And it's a little earlier this evening than we're used to. It's about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of our normal 9:30. Thanks for being flexible, everyone. But we did want to get something out to you guys. We are now getting, at least here in Florida, we are back in the school time routine. So we have to get everybody to bed, everybody up and at 'em, ready to continue as summer has ended here in Florida. But Mike, how's it going there in Baltimore? Nope, I can no longer hear Mike. Mike is muted.
We lost his mic.
Oh no, Mike, you're not no longer attached. John, how's it going in Florida?
Oh, it's great, Jason. I this morning I got up early and went to softball practice. I haven't played softball since I was in college, and got up and hit some balls and shagged some flies and took some grounders and stuff before church. So that was exciting this morning. We start Tuesday nights. I believe it's the first Tuesday in September is when our games and things start. So we're trying to get a little rust shaken off.
Did you say softball practice? Like
Yes,
practice? We're talking
practice.
practice.
Right, like Allen Iverson.
Softball. Oh
Practice.
no,
Just taking
I'm
some.
old.
Jason. You got to remember this. I haven't like hit softballs like ever. I'm going from college guys throwing mid to upper 80s to mid 90s to throwing a slow pitch softball. So I have to figure out how to hit a slow moving ball. There's
Interesting.
much
So
difference.
the ball's coming in, right? And then you load back and you swing with your hands, John. You swing with your hands. It's not like I know there's like it might seem like it's rocket science, but it's really not. It's really easy. I say this, but Mike had a hard adjustment. It took Mike a couple extra weeks to adjust to softball as well. For me, maybe it's because I just wasn't that great of a baseball player that I just like switched it right away. But it
Absolutely,
was great.
Jason.
Like I
I,
could
Yeah,
I
catch
mean, I
anything.
was a
You
I
know.
was always a fastball hitter in high school. Quick hands were my thing, and so like you do have to be patient. That is the one thing you do have to learn. And Jason, you actually taught me how to wait on the ball and kind of look at that ball on the outside of the plate and try to hit it the opposite way, which allowed me to be more patient and hit more line drives. But John, I get it. It takes a little adjustment, but we don't practice softball anymore. Just the first few games you do that, and then after the first few games, you're ready to go. I just no time to practice slow pitch softball.
yeah. We just we
Yeah.
just got together and had, I don't know, there was a half dozen of us and just taking some pitches and hitting, and you know it's an early morning in Florida, so it was cool. They wanted to do it last night at like 7, but as Jason knows, sometime between 3 and 8 o'clock it rains every day this time of year. So having a practice at that sort of time just didn't make sense. But I did hit one off the fence on the fly, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, our league just started up again. I mean, it's been nonstop, really, with like a 2 or 3 week break in between down here. So I've been playing since well before Christmas. And but right now is that battle with like I play on Friday nights, but we were rained out Friday night because it poured down rain. Like it didn't rain all week, and then Friday it decided to rain. It hasn't stopped raining since. So the summers are always tough. In Naples, when I lived there, they didn't play in the summer because they're like, no, we're not. Like too many games are canceled, and it's too much to do with the schedule and such. So, but that's good, John. I'm glad you're getting out there, Mike. What's new with you? Any athletics and anything you need to inform us of?
Not particularly. Just been working on the house here this weekend. It was finally a weekend we were able to be at home, and so we took full advantage. Julie and her mom came over, and they were ripping out flower bed stuff and trimming bushes back and all kinds of exciting things in our front yard. And my dad and I are working on our basement. I redid the back of our basement a year and a half ago or so. That he and I did that together, and now it's time to move the LVP flooring from the back of the basement to the front of the basement and redo the front of the basement. So it's basically a big old musical chairs of moving stuff around, and we're getting the paneling. You guys know the 70s wood paneling that you see in all the houses. We had that in our basement, so I was ripping that off the walls, and we're going to drywall down there, getting some insulation, rerunning some electricity, doing some of the lights that go in, the recessed lighting. and like that kind of stuff in the basement. So just been busy doing some housing projects this weekend, but nothing too much sports related, but besides getting a glimpse of the Orioles here and there.
Oh, that sounds terrible. That just sounds terrible. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
itchy and dirty and lots of drywall in my hair.
Yeah, we don't got to worry about that in Florida. Nobody has a basement.
No. I mean, there still are other projects, obviously, but yes, you are correct, John. There are no.
John, it can be fun though, because you could take the hammer and we're just the stucco ceilings with the it's got like the sticky stuff that kind of hangs off of it. It's not flat surfaced. It's horrible. I mean, it's in our basement. So we're going to drywall over it. We're just going to drywall, 1/2-inch drywall all the way over it. But we need to do the lighting in there. So I'm taking a hammer literally and just hammering holes so we can run wires through, because that drywall ceiling is going to be gone because it's going to be drywalled over. So I've put like 25 holes, which can be a little bit of a stress relief in a way. So that's kind of fun. But it does get all in your hair and stuff. I'm a little bit dirty.
You know what else is terrible? Besides that stucco ceiling, you know what's worse? And we have it in this rental that we're in, is a popcorn ceiling. Those things are terrible. And Cole, like we had a bunk bed when we first moved in, and now he's way too big, so we got him on his own big boy bed. But he had a bunk bed, and he would stand on top, and he would rip all the popcorn off. And I'm like, oh, this is terrible and everywhere. So when like the landlord came, like I hope he doesn't listen, but when the landlord came, I had to like vacuum up all the popcorn and be like, yep, nothing to see here. These are nothing here at all. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, not a whole lot going on here other than just, like I said, getting ramped up for school starting tomorrow. Jess is off to a concert tonight with Ashanti. They're going to see Kesha in Tampa. I was like, oh, Kesha. I was like, I don't really want to go. Why don't you take Ashanti? That sounds great. You should do that.
Is that the girl with the $sign in her name?
Maybe, yeah.
Yes,
I think
yes.
I only.
Okay,
What is it?
I'm not familiar, but I do know the name.
The TikTok song or something, or something. John, you're up to date with all that young people stuff. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
No, I know who she is.
Is it like tick stop, don't stop, make it? I don't know.
Yeah. I know that song.
Dude, it goes like dude. Yeah.
Dude. Well done, John. That's how it goes.
Let me see if I can find this song. Oh, here we go, Jason. I found this song. Yeah,
this is my nightmare.
TikTok, make your body drop. That song.
Oh,
yeah.
So apparently the tour is called the Tits Out Tour.
Oh God.
Like, oh, well, that sounds like a good time. Sign me up, I guess. Like, and it's about to rain.
Jason, that's the song that goes like this. It goes, waking up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Grab my glasses, I'm out the door, I'm going to hit the city. Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Because when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, trying on all our clothes, boys blowing up our phones.
Yes. So every single one of you grown-ass men on this one and listening, you have once heard that song on purpose or by accident in your car, and you did some sort of dance or singing along with it. So don't lie. I know what you
it's catchy. I just didn't know she sang it. That's great.
It's like a Katy Perry song all over again. Like it's like you can't stop. Who knew?
Right.
Oh my goodness. I don't know, dude. It's like an accident on the Beltway. You just can't look away. Which, ironically enough, brings us to our first segment, the preseason football. It's terrible. I hate it, but it's like an accident on the Beltway. You can't look away. But before we get to that, I did want to say, John, do you have, or Mike, do you have some sort of punishment for John? Did he lose your guys' Oriole bet?
Yes. So I said the Orioles would go 2-4. He said 4-2. And you know what? Keegan Hagan came in the clutch today and made sure that he delivered on my 2-4. Actually, I'm sad. Part of me is very sad, John. I don't want to punish you today, but I have to, because that's kind of what we do. So your punishment is that you may not say the name Ravens or Orioles anytime during the podcast today. You must find some type of substitute or filler.
Fabulous. Creative as hell. I love it. All right. So we'll go back to what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about the so what team are we going to talk about, John?
Festivus.
Oh. Yes, we will
All
be.
right.
I'll help you out, John. We will be talking about the Ravens and their preseason. Um, I guess kicking off the Colts game. Obviously, it was a preseason game, so the Ravens did win, just like they do pretty much all their preseason games for whatever reason. But Mike, it was not without a few key losses, and then some other guys being banged up as well. So I know we lost. It's my understanding we lost one guy for the season, and then another guy today. I believe the cornerback longer beam went on the IL for the year as well. So it was, they won the game, but they didn't fully come out unscathed except for the main guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was preseason football. The ugliest part was the quarterback play. I'm just like watching, especially Leary, try to get out there and you want to see what these wide receivers have. You want to see what Tez Walker has. You want to see what some of these guys trying to battle and make the squad have. And you see those guys come out there, and he can't get the ball within a 10-foot catch radius to be even have a chance to make plays on some of these, these balls. So the frustrating part, is it is preseason football. I watched the game. I was at a soccer practice, so I got there about middle of the second quarter, watched the game, and then went back and rewatched the beginning of the game when, gosh, our backup quarterback had this Cooper Rush had the series there, and it wasn't great either. He threw a pick on I think his first pass play, but again, he didn't have much as far as work is concerned because we had a punt return touchdown in there too, so he missed out on the series as well. But the exciting part was being able to see Keaton Mitchell in action, being able to see Wesney have that impact in special teams. But as far as quarterback play, John, it was pretty ugly, man.
Well, 57 yards passing for the whole game. I mean, you're not. It doesn't give us much hope. And then I believe it was Locked On Festivus that they're talking about that Cooper Rush, I believe, is like a $4.8 million dead cap space if you cut him. So it is one game, and he didn't really get a ton of good reps in the game, just simply because they had to kick off or the punt return for a touchdown and things. But then you also looked at the starting offensive line, and I believe out of 14 dropbacks, Falele got a 0 on 8 of the 14 dropbacks. And however they score offensive linemen, because Kevin was talking about that on I believe Friday or Saturday on his show, and I believe it was like 8 out of 14 he whiffed on. He got run over, he tripped over the center, and that plays a little role, I think, too, in some of the. I didn't have a chance to watch the whole game, but plays a role in some of the struggles that the quarterbacks have when your right guard can't stay on his feet and he loses 8 out of 14 times. But our running game looked good. Keaton Mitchell, looked good. And, I don't think he's going to play the rest of the preseason. So we'll see what goes on from there. But Mike, what do you think about the special teams? That was probably the highlight. What do you think? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and Rasheen Ali had a really good night, I think, on special teams and in the backfield as well. I guess you are encouraged by the running game. The Colts have a decent defense. I think in watching the game, it's so hard to tell because you've got twos out there playing threes and ones, and you're all mixed and matched, and some teams are playing their starters longer than others. Now, this point in the season, it's usually a lot more of backups. You don't see much of the starting units until we get closer to the regular season. So it's really hard to make judgment calls on what you see. But the guy out there like Higgins, who makes a big name for himself, with making big defensive plays in the game with a pass deflection or make an interception. Like those are the chances for those guys on the very back end of the roster to show that they can do it in a game, because they might only have one chance at this, some of these guys. And to see that is really exciting. The defensive guys, I thought, did a really good job. Offensively, again, it's hard to tell if it was the line play, but it just looked like Devin Leary had no clue what he was doing out there. He was very inconsistent with where he threw the ball. He was very rushed in all of his decision making. He looked overmatched in every single way. So it's really hard to tell if it was line play or just Leary being overmatched as far as the offense is concerned. And again, we couldn't tell what the receivers could do because he couldn't get the ball anywhere near him. So it was really hard offensively to tell in the second half what really was happening. Defensively, it was good to see some of those younger guys have an opportunity to step up, especially a guy like Higgins in a position at weak side linebacker. We may have an open position if somebody doesn't step up and take that job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I liked if in the breakdown that I saw of the game in terms of what's it called? It's sort of like whip in baseball. What's it called in football? I don't remember. Refresh my memory. But the pass rush was on fire, was getting home, was getting up with the front four and doing what needed to be done. In the back end, came through with, like you said, the defensive backs looked like they were playing pretty well and, making it tough. I mean, even second string, third string, but we're going to need, that third, fourth safety. We're going to need that extra defensive back. So I think, there's a lot of things on offense that need to be fixed. But again, it's the second, third, and fourth string and kind of a mismatch of what you're actually going to get during the season.
I hate preseason football. Have I mentioned that yet today? Oh my gosh.
I thought you were running away with your laptop because you couldn't even take it anymore. You wouldn't even have the conversation with us.
Correct. I don't want to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I will.
I like the tour of your house, Jason. Looks very nice.
You enjoyed that? Fabulous.
Yes.
Okay. We tried to keep Cole in the room with Allie as Jess is getting ready for the concert, but he no longer wanted to be in there. So he wanted to eat. So I had to help him with that. So duty calls. But
sure.
Yeah. So I kind of, John, I agree with you. I actually think Falele might have played himself, if not out of a position, in a now what do we do type situation. I know, who is it? Is it Brandon Sheriff? The guard is still out there on the market if they wanted to do that. I know that when they originally were kicking the tires on that, he's not, I don't think he's that type of guard that they would want. They like these, you need these athletic type guys, and he's good, but it's not, he doesn't really fit that mold. So they might just run with Ben Cleveland and give him more run, but you're going to need, I think the idea was that Falele could be that tackle / guard swing guy is what they would hope for, but he looked atrocious. And so it's kind of hard for me to sit here and judge the backup quarterbacks besides Leary. Leary's terrible. He just did not, that was bad. But Cooper Rush, I'm not sold that it needs to be replaced or he's terrible or anything like that. In due time, and if everything goes well, he doesn't play at all. He'll play in like some 40-10 blowouts or something like that. But as far as, Keaton Mitchell looks like a stud again. He looks every bit of 4.2, 40, whatever it is that he ran. The pass rush is good. It's just, it's hard for me to really determine how good they are against like a offensive line. Although they did have a lot of their starters out there because they were protecting Richardson. So,
and he still got hurt.
They did not protect him. No. David Ajabo introduced himself to Mr. Richardson,
which is another one that like he's on the bubble to make this roster, Ajabo, and he needed that, and the more, for me, it's always been the more pass rushers, the better. I would rather like the safety position come off if you can get extra pass rushers, but you know how the Ravens think, they want all the safeties in the world. So, but yeah, Wester was one of the guys that you asked the other day if I'd be watching. He's one of the guys on my list. Real big on him. He definitely as far as I'm concerned, he made the team. He was already on the roster. Should be, because they don't have anyone else that could do damage like that. Punt returns. Although I wouldn't sleep on Wallace if they wanted to do that too, and then Keaton Mitchell had a good kick return. So yeah, special teams, John, I know you mentioned that as one of the things you wanted to watch. The kicking position, again, you guys know how I feel about kickers. It's whatever. Just kick the ball, get it through the uprights. You're going to make some, you're going to miss some. Just don't miss too many of them when it counts, Justin Tucker. But, to me, it's preseason football. It's what I expected. and hopefully we can get through the rest of preseason without any injuries. So, is there anything else, John, you wanted to touch on that?
Yeah. Did I tell you about my favorite rookie on the Ravens?
Hey, you can't use that word.
Oh, that's right. On Festivus.
Oh, favorite rookie
Oh,
on what, John?
on Festivus. My favorite rookie, and I think the one who's going to stand out. Did I tell you about him?
Who are you referring to?
What team? I
Mike
don't
Green.
understand what team you're talking about.
Mike Green.
Oh,
Mike
yeah, yeah.
Green.
Mike Green.
I sent you guys that video where he looks like a man among boys. And I don't know who the left tackle is. I don't know if it was their first string or second string or even third string guy, but he had a well over 50% win rate, and I don't think he had any sacks, but he had multiple quarterback pressures, and it was a huge percentage. And I think I think that he's going to be the real deal, and I think between him and Starks on defense, the Ravens cleaned up. This could be a huge cleanup in the draft for the Ravens here, picking those guys up, late in the first and then, towards the end of the second as well.
Right. And on paper, that's what we all thought. We thought that those two could definitely make a play at least make it interesting on the defensive rookie of the year. But even more important than that, and Mike and I have had this conversation for years and years, like I'm not huge on an actual sack. Like you don't have to sack the quarterback. You have to be an extreme disruptor. And from what I've seen so far in practice, with the film that they've shared, and then also in the game, I mean, he is going to be every bit of that, Mike. And the amount of bend that man has coming around the side, like it's very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about men bending too much, but in this situation,
And sacks. And
sacks all in the same sentence. But he gets around the edge quickly, is what you're saying, and he's very good at maneuvering his body. But Mike Green played really well the other night. You have Kyle Van Noy, you have Ajabo, you have Owe, you have a bunch of guys there. Tavius Robinson, Adisa Isaac. The question is, do they end up keeping 6 edge outside linebackers? Because they were talking about that on Locked On the other day. It's like, are you in a situation now where you take an extra edge? Maybe if they can do something else, like maybe if they can really help you on special teams as a special teamer or something like that. But like, it's hard to imagine them keeping 6. But then again, injuries rear their ugly heads in these scenarios a lot of times as well. I know the Ravens are kicking the tires on some guys. I saw Jordan Whitehead was in a safety position. He was in. They had like 14 guys in. I really think they're trying. And John, I think you might have said this earlier. They're trying just to make sure that they have what they need to get through the preseason. They're trying. So like Keaton Mitchell's a hair banged up. So they signed Myles Gaskins. I saw they signed him from the Vikings. And, they need to have guys that they can hand the ball off to that they don't want to get hurt. So it sounds really bad. And maybe they have an agreement in some way, shape, or form that, there's a chance to get on the practice squad or you're the next man up or whatever it is. But these guys are just looking for a shot to show what they've got. And if Gaskin can come and, he can have 15 carries when we play in Dallas next week and he has 100 yards, he now has a chance to shine for somebody else who needs a running back. But I wouldn't read too much into some of these moves they're making. Pass rush, like just to finish up on that, I think it's encouraging to have Mike Green in there disrupting, as a second round pick because a lot of teams passed up on him. In fact, every team passed up on him. So it makes the Ravens feel extra good when you see him making the impact they thought he was going to make when they drafted him.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it, Mike, because that's what I was going to chime back in with. It's we're talking about how many guys and what positions are going to make the team. I mean, I just want, again, this is why I'm not a big fan of preseason. I want them to get through without these big injuries. Like, I mean, Ajabo the last few years, I mean, he's hit IR how many times? So you don't want, because that'll change everything. Because now all of a sudden, okay, now you're only keeping 5 because that guy that was on the bubble. And so it's way too early to start thinking that, as far as I know. Now, after this next game, I do think that will that'll clear a couple things up as well. So we'll see. I mean, again, at least on my end, all is to be expected. I'm not surprised really by much. I think Wester and his ability on special teams. And then I'm very excited to see him as a receiver. Unfortunately, not many of the receivers had the opportunity to shine this last week. So hopefully that will change, but we will see. Do you guys have anything else for about the Ravens? Okay, good. We're going to let John introduce this next segment on which team we'll be talking about. Go ahead, John. Who are we talking about?
The Baltimore baseball team.
Well done. Way to dodge. Oh, if you
Yeah,
can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, John. Well done.
Yep. Well, hey, at least our teams do have names, unlike Washington that played for 3 seasons with the Washington football team.
Oh, it's terrible.
Or the Athletics, right? That we played this week.
That's right. Well, we are going to be talking about the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunately, they did just drop the series to the Oakland A's. Today was pretty painful, as Mike said, to kick off the show. Not a fan of that. But again, guys, like part of me, I am one of the most least conspiracy theory person on the planet. But part of me is wondering if these games, it's like, how Mike Elias's mind works. You know how these guys do things. I'm like, yep. I mean, if they lose, they lose. Great. It's more of an opportunity. They'll be picking in the top 5 in the draft. And that they would like nothing better than that. Because not only do they pick in the top 5 of the first round, they pick in the top 5 of every single round. And that's where they have proven to make a lot of noise. So I'm not saying that's what's happening, Mike, but I am saying that, like, I don't think anyone over there is losing any sleep over any losses right now.
No.
Except for Tony Mansolino. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think man landed on the moon too. So I'm not into the conspiracy theory necessarily. Do I think that decision-making on winning and losing changes based on this time of year, based on how you're playing? I think absolutely. I don't think if you're in a playoff race right now, if you're in a pennant chase, and you have a chance to bring up a Samuel Basayo, and you have a chance to bring up, we talked about Dylan Beavers, you might do that. What's the hurry? I mean, what's the hurry right now? You are not in any playoff chase. You're, like you said, Jason, honestly, losing helps your draft situation. I don't think they're tanking by any means, but they're in no rush to bring up some of these younger players. They're more willing to sign these journeyman players and see who might have who's a high draft pick from another team that they just lost on waivers, bring those guys over here and see if they can pan out. That's what they're doing for the month of August, it seems like. That's kind of what looks like Mike Elias' plan.
Well, you have to be careful because you don't want to lose a clubhouse going into next year. And one of the hardest things, John, to do in sports is to stop losing. The Browns have been doing it forever. Okay. The A's, I mean, look at all these teams out there that just can't get back to where they want to be or stop losing, stop making terrible decisions. The Jacksonville Jaguars, like these teams in professional sports. So number one, you don't want to lose a clubhouse by doing this. And number two, you don't want to start this trend where all of a sudden it's much harder.
Right. The culture is what drives the team. Like you look at the difference between the both teams in Baltimore, right? The Baltimore football team, they
Hold on.
The Baltimore football team has a certain, aura around them. Whereas as the Baltimore baseball team doesn't have that. So the Baltimore football team brings players in and they know what they're going to be getting into and they have to meet those standards, where the baseball team just doesn't have that. And we just see it over and Buck brought some of that good aura to the team, I think, in those years from 09 through 15 through 16. But you also had guys on the team like the Adam Jones. We'll talk about him a little later. But you had the guys like Nick Markakis, Adam Jones, guys like that on the team who kept the culture up there. And I think the team is missing the Adam Jones, Nick Markakis types, but then they're also missing the Buck Showalter who brings that sort of aura to the team. And I think right now you're just not even treading water. You're freaking drowning. They were treading water in April and May, and now they're under the boat and heading for the bottom of the ocean.
And I mean, I fully expect this at this point. Like wins are great, but like, I mean, it's the moves that they've made. Adams, Hoda, and Evans. Like instead of Beavers, Basayo, and I don't know, pick a guy, right? It's they're doing this. There's some. I think there's some. Is this even a word? Intentionalness? Is that a word? Or did I invent it?
Intentionality. Yeah.
Intentionality, whatever it is, they're doing the crap on purpose, you know, and something else I just wanted to mention, John, I agree with you as far as the culture. Like if you remember the Yankees in the late 90s and early 2000s, like it was respected to go there. And they were when they brought people in, whatever way they used to act, you cut your hair, you act a certain way, and you come here to win championships. Where we invite people to come play Legos and stay at our fancy beach houses and go fishing and sleep on shitty mattresses. So what's going on there? I'm all about looseness in clubhouse and camaraderie. But Mike, I mean, there has to be and this is where bringing in veterans that have done it. Oh, I can't say it enough. Veterans that have done it to change your culture. And again, we can talk about this all the time, but the off season will be a testament to that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, who do you look at in the Orioles clubhouse right now and say, we have to own up to this? Like, who's going to stop the bleed? Who's the guy? Tell me, who is it? Who in
Dietrich
this clubhouse?
Enns.
Yeah, do we respect enough to know he's thinking no mas, so we better remember it's no mas. Let's go win the game. There's nobody in the clubhouse. Ryan O'Hearn might have been the closest thing they had to it. Maybe Cedric Mullins, who was kind of a leader by example. Gunnar and Adley might get there, but they aren't veteran enough, I don't think, to garner that respect at this point. And so you don't have anybody who's a 30-year-old veteran in this clubhouse who the team respects and looks up to, not on your pitching staff really, or in your dugout in either of those facets of the game. And you don't have it as your manager because this guy hasn't really done it either. So you need someone who's proven. We know, we've talked about this at length, that you need a good mix of veteran leadership to go along with your young core. And if you don't have that, it's really hard to be successful. And this is the part that is going to be the struggle for a young team that lacks it: consistency and accountability. And the lack of accountability right now is what you're seeing. And then you already have ownership and leadership from the general manager that like to experiment and bring, like you said, Jason, we're bringing people in and out and kind of seeing what sticks and what doesn't. How do you hold the clubhouse standard when you have new guys in the clubhouse every single day and they don't know what the standard is? You can't hold a standard that way. It's impossible. So I'm imagining my girls' soccer team. That's the only thing I can relate to, having new players on it every single week and trying to figure out for them to understand what I expect as a coach or a manager, or what the team expects as our culture. It's very difficult to do.
And it's okay to have guys come in and out, especially when you're winning and you're in a pennant race and you have like Buck used to use the bring a guy up, he pitched, send him back down, use the options. Like they use the bullpen options constantly, right? Which also could have some could be a detriment in a way. But the still having guys that when people got there, like when Nick Markakis or Adam Jones saying this is the way we do things. Okay. There is not that. But I will tell you, you can see that Jordan Westberg wants to be that guy. Now, if he wants to come out and say it, he probably won't. He's not that type of guy, but in his actions, he wants to be that guy. And we talk about, it's funny, we talk about giving guys extensions, and they said it on Locked On Orioles. I would go after Jordan Westberg, and I would go after Trevor Rogers, and I would get those guys signed up long term if you can, because both of those guys. I mean, you see what happens when Jordan Westberg is not in the lineup. So, and he might be the easiest out of the bunch to sign, but we'll see. Besides Colton Cowser, but I'm not, as bad as it sounds, I'm not 100% sold on that. But we're going to have plenty of time during the offseason to discuss all of that. I did want to mention one thing that I didn't put on the list to you guys. Tell me if I'm wrong, but do you guys notice that our old friend Buck Showalter seems to be around the Orioles a little more than he was before? He came to the Savannah Bananas thingamahopper that y'all talked about. And he was at the Hall of Fame thing where when he left Baltimore, he couldn't get out of here faster. When they sponsored the 5K around Baltimore that finished in the stadium, and him and his wife kicked it off and they hightailed it back. They were out in a hurry years ago. I'm just saying, I know Elias was the group that came in and got rid of him. Just, again, not a conspiracy theorist, Mike, but something seems a little interesting to me.
You're reading a lot of sentences with "I'm not a conspiracy theorist," so I'm a little worried.
That's because I'm a conspiracy theorist, apparently.
No, I don't think there's anything there, but there needs to be some type of veteran manager. So I say that it might not be Buck Showalter. It's that type of manager that they need here. So would it surprise me? No. But I don't think the fact that he's around, I think it's just more coincidence with the O's Hall of Fame induction and the Bananas. And they always try to find people that the fans are endeared with. And everybody here loved Buck. Everybody loved Adam Jones. They love Nick Markakis. So when the Bananas come to town, they're just trying to find the draw for that particular team, I'm sure. So I don't know. They went to Denver after they were here. So I don't know who their favorite Denver was. It Todd Helton that was there? I don't know, like that kind of thing that they do out in Bananaville that you say.
Yeah, I mean, John, to me, it just, I don't know. It seemed a little too interesting because he also did the games. He did an Oriole game on Roku earlier in the year. Had nothing but good things to say about him. I mean, obviously that's his job to not bash teams, but I don't know. To me, it just seemed interesting. But as far as all that goes, Mike and John, are you guys feeling any different about the manager that they bring in? I mean, I've kind of convinced myself that Connor was right with Locked On Orioles, that it's going to be a sitting manager now, and they're going to try to pull someone away, or it's going to be a veteran guy. John, do you have any thoughts on that? John, no thoughts?
John has no thoughts on that.
Or anything, apparently. John, did you have a stroke?
I hope not. John can't hear us. He cracked a beverage, as I kind of heard in the background.
I could hear that.
And then all of a sudden, John's gone.
He's staring at us blankly. Here,
I'll try to pretend to be John, okay?
Yeah,
well, I think that team from Baltimore is going to hire a coach that loves the numbers. They like the high fastball and the curveball and all the things. John, can you hear us?
Oh, no. What's happening?
No,
John?
He's gone.
I'm going to remove John until John figures out what he's doing. Okay. So, Mike, here's the only thing, though, about the Buck thing, because I'm sitting here talking myself in and out of this. With Buck, he's and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but he's a control guy. He likes to have his hands in everything. And it's clear that they just want the manager to manage the team on the field and give feedback. But Buck had total control and worked as a partner with Dan Duquette. I'm not so sure they want that here in Baltimore. So I don't even know if that would work.
Yeah, I feel like it could be good. I mean, I think it could be really good, but I don't think either side wants to maybe meet there, because I think Buck has the ability to kind of have a feel for what works in a game and what doesn't. We talk about managing by feel versus data. Like, I think he's a really good person who could, if he would be able to kind of adapt to what Mike Elias brings and all the data analysis that they have in there, and then kind of meld that with what he has as far as years and years in the game of baseball. It could be a really, really good marriage. But Jason, like you said, if he wants total, autonomy in the situation, it might not work out. They would have to come to some type of like agreement and understanding where Elias is like, here's the groceries and you can have this much control over what you're making for dinner. So I think that's what it would have to be. John, you're back with us?
I am back.
Yay.
So here's, I'm not reading into the Buck thing, but I think even as big as bringing a manager in is, we need to bring in what the Carlos Beltran was for the Astros. We're going to talk about it again. We've been talking about it all along. Like last year we had Aaron Hicks, guy who'd been on the Yankees, who'd been fairly experienced guy, but I think just as big as the manager is, I think bringing in an experienced veteran leader into the clubhouse who can kind of crack the whip over the players and get them, this is the way we should be doing things as professional baseball players. We're not, building Legos. We're not, doing this, and this. We're getting ready. We're doing the things that we need to do. And I think that's as big of an issue on this team as the whole manager thing is. And I think, a Buck, a Dusty Baker, an older school guy like that, is going to need a veteran presence in this locker room.
Well, Buck was never the type of guy to like put a shoe up anyone's back end, like he wasn't that type of guy. He just demanded respect based on his track record. John, I don't think that the player now, today's player, reacts well to the in-your-face type of manager. I don't think society in general reacts well to that. So I'm not like you and Jimmy both were kind of old school to that. And we're saying that's kind of what we need. The more and more I thought about all this, I really, even Dusty Baker wasn't that type of manager. Like he demanded respect based on every single place he went. He was playing for a pennant and potential World Series championship. Like that's the type of guy you need. Unfortunately, like I see Ryan Flaherty's name being moved around. I love Ryan Flaherty, loved him as a player, but because he's being mentioned so much, I almost am positive he's not getting that job. And more than likely, guys, it's going to be somebody we haven't even thought about yet. So we'll see. I mean, again, we have plenty of offseason to go back and forth and all that. Next on our list to talk about with the Orioles, though, and Mike, you brought this up, was the ticket price increase that they've doing for next year.
Yeah, so I just think the timing is just horrible. Like, so if you haven't seen, read, or heard, I know it was reported by the Banner, it was reported by the Baltimore Sun, that the Orioles are ending the traditional 13 and 29 game ticket plans for next season, and they're offering a 10-game plan, a 20-game plan, a 40-game plan, I believe, and the 10-game plan doesn't have all the perks and bells and whistles necessarily. And the 40 gamer and I think the 20 gamer, you get like all the giveaways and things like that as well, or like guaranteed, where that hasn't always been that way in the past. But it's a 3% overall increase in season ticket cost. And then there's a plan where you can kind of sell like 30%, I think, of your tickets back like that, so on and so forth. But the problem to me is just the timing. Like, you have not extended a single player, really. You have not shown the good faith to your community that you are in it to win it in the long term by signing a gunner. And you have so many opportunities to sign a player. Like, why not sign a player and then follow it with this if you're going to go ahead and increase the price? Now, I understand that inflation happens and they're upgrading the scoreboard and they're upgrading the sound system, which, by the way, is very much necessary. I talked to someone who was at the Banana game the other day. They were sitting in left field, like underneath the stands in the upper deck, like in section 81. They said they couldn't hear a thing that was going on in the ballpark that was going on during the Bananas game. So, like, the sound system needs an upgrade. I was in Philly the other day. Their scoreboard runs laps around our scoreboard at Oriole Park. Like, they definitely needed those upgrades. But to come at, you're losing, you're not signing players, and now you're going to announce this in the middle of August when everybody's already, in a tailspin right now about the season. It just seems like the Orioles have no feel for what timing should be or look like. I don't know who their PR guy is, Jason. Maybe he's the same guy who was there when you were working there, but they seem to have no feel for what goes on in the pulse of the community.
Yeah, I do believe their PR has changed over. I actually want to say that it's, I can't remember his first name, but last name Bader. I really do think that that's the guy that is in charge of PR. So here's the only thing, and it's not that I don't disagree with a lot of this, but like you have, it is business, right? So they have these different, they have people that only look at these things, and they only look at how many games will bring in the most amount of money. And like, does this plan make any sense? Okay, so we're going to do this 10-game plan, and this is just with any product that you're trying to sell in the world. You're going to make the next one up. Once you pay a little more, you're going to get a little more. And then the highest amount of money, those guys should get everything, right? You shouldn't be getting the same things if you're paying the least amount of money. But I mean, I get the frustration with the timing, but as far as like for me, this is just cost of doing business. I mean, for the years I was a Ravens ticket holder and watched the prices go up after they had a losing season, but no one wanted to mention that they hadn't raised the prices the past 3 years. So at some point, you do have to raise prices and you do have to make changes. So for me, it's really not that big of a deal. I only care about the product on the field. That's two different places, obviously, guys. So like Mike Elias isn't making the changes to the ticket sales and all of that stuff. Like, oh God, I hope his hands aren't in that because then no, just focus on the baseball. Bring me guys, bring me Schwarber and Bregman and all these other fellas. Go ahead and do that. Focus on that. So, John, I don't know what your thoughts on. For me, it's like Mike, I don't want to discount what you said about like the timing, but it's a whole lot of getting upset over not that big of a deal, I guess.
I would agree too. I like you said, I didn't think they'd raise the prices for like 3 years or something. So, they could have raised them, but I mean, I'll tell you what, they're going to have the same amount of people in the stands, whether the tickets cost, $10 or they cost $13. It's not gonna make or break. It's like, okay, if it was a 30% increase, well, then that's a different story. But you're going from, $20 to $20.60 a ticket. So it's like, it's as long as they're keeping the same sort of, you bring your kid for free during the weekdays during the summer and things of that nature. It's not going to affect the fact that we can't draw fans because, like Jason, you said, the product on the field just isn't there. And even when the product on the field is there, they can't fill the place up. So
yeah, but John, I don't disagree with you. And I think you guys, the cost is not the problem. To me, it's again the fact that they do not understand, have tact, have any grip on what the community is feeling about their baseball team. Just think about that other Baltimore team that you can't say, John, that handles things so much, I would say, so much better relative to what the Orioles do. They seem to understand timing. They seem to understand the feelings of the fans. They seem to understand just more, so they're more in tune, more connected. It's like having a spouse who understands you a lot better than someone who just always, that they're right, but they just don't know how to explain it to you correctly. It's like being able to communicate in a more efficient way, being able to run your organization in a more efficient way. And I think the Ravens are veterans and experts at this, and the Orioles are novice when it comes to this side of the organization. They don't think things through in a global way. And Jason, you're right. Mike Elias should not be dealing with ticket sales, but they should be working together in understanding that the organization has an arm and a leg, and they still need to know what each other are doing while they're working, and that they have to tie that together in a way that works for everybody and that works best for their community as a whole. Every stakeholder involved, whether it be the players, the management, the employees of the organization, they need to think about all stakeholders when making these decisions, and the timing of it is part of it. And so maybe you just wait till after the season to announce this, or maybe you have an event to introduce your new technology that you're going to show, and then you show this afterwards. There's just a way to do it that was better than what they did. And I don't disagree, Jason. It's probably the cost of doing business, but I just feel like they don't always do it in the right way.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's what the deal is with the timing as far as them not waiting till the end of the season, other than when I was there, specifically in the ticket sales guys, they had the season ticket guys that would start. I mean, you had your own person you would talk to, and they would call you, say, hey, you're going to renew, or hey, do you want this package, blah blah blah. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I mean, I agree with most of what you're saying. I mean, it's always been that way with the Orioles, John, the Orioles, that you're I can say it, you can't. Ha. No, it's like they have always just missed. But like to me, that was an Angelos thing. Like those guys couldn't like do anything right to save their lives as far as I was concerned. But I don't know. I agree with you, Mike. But I mean, again, bigger fish to fry. Bring me Bregman. Bring me Schwarber. Bring me your finest meats and cheeses in all the land, and then I'll be happy. Okay, let's move on to our predictions for this week so that we can punish John again so he can't say words. The O's are playing the Mariners and the Astros. Oh, goody. So, John, would you like to kick it off and do the honors?
Yeah,
Yep, I see you. Well done.
I'm gonna say 2-4.
Okay. Well done. Michael?
Man, Seattle revamped Seattle with some new corner infielders, right? Hitting the cover off the ball now. They have the ability to beat you with the bat, not only with the pitching staff that's been strong for the last few years. I feel like that's just trouble. And I'm pretty sure we handled them in Seattle when we were out there before. And they probably are playing with a little more than just the playoffs and a little bit of revenge on their minds. So I think they're going to come in here and at least win 2 out of 3. And then Houston isn't a cup of tea either. And it's the opportunity for them to showcase maybe Ramon Urias back in actually we get to see Ramon again, which is kind of cool. But again, they have a stronger pitching staff and probably a more well-rounded lineup. So 2. Let's eke out 2. I was thinking 1 and 5, but that just seems like a bit extreme. Let's say 2 and 4 for the Orioles.
Well, just call me Mr. Extreme then, Mike, because I'm going 1 and 5. Does Trevor Rogers pitch in one of these games?
Hopefully both the wins.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Good.
Rogers pitches Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 1 and 5. One of these guys will sweep them. Probably Houston, just because of the way things set up, but I could be wrong. I'd be fine with a 5. Like whatever happens, guys. Honestly, if we find out, this is something we really need to talk about. If they pick in the top 3 or top 5, I know there's a lottery, but we are guaranteed right now to have, I believe, a top 8 pick because Colorado cannot pick in the top 10. And there's one other team, I think it's the Guardians, cannot pick in the top 10 because the Major League Baseball rules changed with if you don't spend within a certain amount of money based off of the the luxury sharing and whatnot, or whatever the word is. I probably screwed that up. But
yeah, revenue sharing. Yep.
Revenue sharing that you cannot pick in the top 10 for at least, I believe, 1 year. It might be more. So we are guaranteed. So the more, and that was before this series. So it could get interesting. I mean, they know it. They don't miss a lot. Well, maybe they do but I mean, if they get a top 3 or 4 pick, I mean, hey, who knows? So we'll see. Okay, John, do you want to tell everybody where they can find us, or did you have something else?
Yeah. You can find us on all social media. We're on X at crabcake_sports. We are on Facebook and Instagram at dadbods, crabcakes, and sports. You can email us at dadbods, we'd love to get feedback and maybe get some input. And if you got games or any other things you'd like to have us do, maybe send us an email there. Maybe we'll do it on the show and shout you out. You can like and follow us on all major podcasting networks, Apple, Spotify, etc. Please like, follow, share, auto download. Really helps us out, helps us move up the charts and spread the good news of Baltimore sports, dad bods, and crab cakes around the world in lightning speed.
Fabulous. And everyone, please be patient. I am going to have the fantasy football instructions and announcement coming out here within the next day or so on our Facebook page. So look out for that. So you can join us for our first ever fantasy football challenge or whatever we want to call it. Okay, Mike, do you have our ballpark figures segment ready for John and I?
I figured no. Sorry, I did not.
All right. Well, that's good.
Well,
I was trying. My ballpark figures were trying to figure out how many inches were between the studs on my wall and how much cutting I need to do with the insulation. So I'm sorry, that is not what was not in the cards today.
Well, that is fabulous. Okay. All right, Mike, do you happen to have a piece of paper and a pen where you are?
I do. Do you need me to keep some scores?
Yes, I do not. I am sitting on my couch as I was removed
Absolutely.
from my office.
Hey, this is a homemade podcast, people out there. This is what we do.
I know.
We ad lib, we make do with what's around us.
So Jason, you can
Oh,
just write it
really?
on your notes page on your phone.
Yeah, but it doesn't look right when you go to hold it up. Like the glare on the phone, I could just tell you.
Okay. So I'm gonna host Jeopardy tonight. It's
Sports
America's
Jeopardy, Dabot Sports
Sports
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. And I'm your host tonight. So your categories: memorable days at the yard, bank numbers, and that was memorable. That was memorial. Excuse me. That was memorial.
Ooh,
So
John, well
all
done.
things to do with Baltimore sports stadiums.
Fabulous. All right.
So since you won, Jason,
Okay.
what would you like to start with?
What was the first category?
So there's memorable days at the yard,
Yep.
bank numbers,
Mhm.
and that was memorial.
Okay, let's do memorable days at the yard for 100, John.
Okay. This Japanese pitcher pitched the first no-hitter in Camden Yards history.
Jason.
April 1st.
Mike.
Yes. Jason.
Hideki Nomo.
Hideo.
what did I
no.
say? Hideo Nomo. Nomo.
Hideo, yes, Nomo. That is correct,
Nomo.
Jason. I don't
Thank
know, Mike. We need to ask the judges if we should give him that.
He didn't understand it was Hideki, but I think you can give it to him.
You know.
It's Hideki Matsui.
Next time, no.
He was outfielder.
And
for
John,
the
I gotta
Yankees.
waive your John. We need to waive your punishment from here on out because I can't have you messing up my clues. So your
Okay.
punishment, you've been officially lifted from your ban of Ravens and Orioles.
Okay.
I will take the same category for 500, please.
Okay. This Orioles catcher hit an ultimate grand slam against the Seattle Mariners on May 17th.
Jason.
Mike,
Yes,
Chris Hoyles.
that is correct.
I will finish off the category for 1,000, please.
Do you know what an ultimate grand slam is?
So I thought he did. Didn't he have 2 grand slams?
I
Or
don't
was
know.
it the walk off?
It was a walk-off. They were down 13-10.
Yeah.
And an ultimate grand slam is when you are down 3 runs and you hit a grand slam to walk off and win the game.
Didn't he hit multiple home runs in that game, Mike? He did something.
he had
I thought.
2 homers in that game, didn't he?
I thought so.
I don't remember. I was just looking up other things. So, all right. You want to finish this category, Jason?
Yes, please.
I, along with Eddie Murray, hit my 500th career home run at Camden Yards. I, along with Eddie Murray, hit my 500th career.
Jason?
Yes.
He says scared. Jim Tomei.
Was incorrect.
Oh no, I'm in the negative, Mike.
Mike, do you have a guess?
Look at Mike.
I'm scared.
The list is not long on 500 home runs. It's not a long list, Mike. There's probably a dozen people.
I have a guess, but I'm not gonna
Okay.
incriminate myself.
All right, Mike. What's your guess?
Is it Harold Baines? I don't know if he has 500.
No, he doesn't.
have
It's
500.
Manny
Yeah.
Ramirez.
Rafael Palmeiro. Oh,
Manny Ramirez. Oh shoot, I had the date and I didn't write it down. I think it was like May 11th, 2007 or something like that.
see, I didn't understand the question because I thought they had to be an Oriole, so I wouldn't have guessed Manny Ramirez anyway. It wouldn't have
just in
mattered.
general. Okay.
All right,
Jason.
so I have negative 400 and Mike has 0.
Yeah,
right.
I'm winning. I haven't answered one yet, but I knew 2 of them.
So bank numbers and that
Correct.
was memorial.
All right, let's
Jason?
do bank numbers for 100. See if I can get out of the negatives.
Okay, bank numbers for 100. I rushed for an NFL record 295 yards against the Cleveland
Mike.
Browns.
Jason,
Mike,
Jamal Lewis.
that is correct. Mike, bank numbers
boy.
or all that was
Yeah, do
memorial.
the thing with the bank numbers again. 500.
All right. I am the career receiving leader with 229 receptions, 2,994 yards, and 26 touchdowns at the bank.
Oh man, I don't want to guess because I'm going to keep going negative. Wait, say those numbers one more time. Can you?
So this is all right. The career receiving leader at the bank, 229 receptions, 2,994 yards, and 26 touchdowns. Jason, did you raise your hand?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I started to, and then I.
Mike, do you have a guess, or we just?
I have a guess, but I'm
going to
gonna
guess.
Okay.
Is it Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It is Mark Andrews.
Nice.
We're tied with a
shocked me.
hundo.
That shocked me. That stat right there shocked me. Like I figured it was like Anquan Bolden or something, but no, it was Mark
Derek
Andrews.
Mason or something like that. Yeah.
Right. But no, that was
touchdown. It's the touchdown number. That's what gave it away.
It was a high touchdown number.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to finish that category,
Okay.
Jason?
Please.
This Jets quarterback holds the record for most passing yards in a single game at the bank with 481 yards.
Oh, I think I know who it is, but I can't remember his name.
Do.
You
5,
can count down, Jen. Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to give you a hint. He was also a Ravens quarterback.
Is it Vinny?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Vinny.
I just wasn't guessing it.
Okay.
I was going to guess the other guy, the guy that ended his career with that shoulder injury, the little white feller.
Mark
Pennington?
Sanchez?
Yeah. No, not Mark Sanchez. I said. Oh, wow. Well done. Okay.
All right. That was Memorial was the last category.
Okay. A hundo,
Jason?
please.
Okay. This Orioles legend with over 500 home runs hit a home run completely out of the stadium.
Jay.
Yes.
Frank Robinson.
Yes.
Okay.
500?
I'll do it for 500.
With 5,360 career receiving yards, this Colts receiver holds the record for most receiving yards in Memorial Stadium history.
Jason.
Yes.
Raymond Berry.
Absolutely. For the
Yeah, I
final
knew that
question,
one.
this
That
was
was slow.
ironic. So, this Jets quarterback holds the record for most passing yards in a game at Memorial Stadium with 496 yards.
Oh, Jason.
Yes.
Vinny Testaverde.
No. Memorial
You said
Stadium.
it's ironic.
It is.
Right,
because
but
it's a
then
Jets
they-
quarterback.
Trouble.
He played in Memorial Stadium, though.
Right, but not for the Jets. I won't take that against you, Jason. But this Jets quarterback. Yeah, Mike. No. Okay, Mike, do you have a guess? Do you have a guess, Mike?
I did not.
Okay, then I'll just tell you. Joe Namath.
Joe Namath was my
Well,
guess.
that would have been that was going to be my guess, but again, the question's a little confusing.
I just thought it was ironic that a Jets quarterback has it at the bank and at Memorial Stadium.
And I never would have guessed it if you wouldn't have said that's ironic, meaning that the guy could be the answer for both questions.
Well, no, Vinny Testaverde was on the Ravens up until the Memorial Stadium closed.
Wrong answers are wrong answers, people. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I didn't know he was a Jet at the time. That was the thing. I didn't know
That
Oh.
makes, yeah.
happened to play. for
yeah,
the Jets.
okay, all right. So our final category is the long ball. The long ball.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Okay. This twin slugger hit the longest home run in Baltimore history, in Baltimore Stadium history at 471 feet until the Astros' Carlos Correa hit one 475 feet at Camden Yards. All right, gentlemen. So our final Jeopardy question again. This twin slugger hit the longest home run in Baltimore Stadium history at 471 feet until the Astros' Carlos Correa hit one 475 feet at Camden Yards. Jason, since I believe you are trailing,
Oh man,
do you have an answer?
I do. I have multiple answers. I just don't know which one to go
Me
with.
too. I like that.
So this isn't the guy I first thought of,
Okay.
but is it Justin Morneau?
It is not Justin Morneau.
Okay, that wasn't my first thought that I was going to go with.
And it was hit at Memorial Stadium.
Oh well, then mine's wrong. Thanks for telling me before I even guess. God.
See, your questions are so like tricky-ish. He did say
Well, it's
Baltimore
Final Jeopardy.
Stadium.
So
I said Baltimore stadiums.
I understand. I guess David Ortiz, but then
So
I thought about maybe Kent Herbeck. I don't know.
It's Harmon Killebrew. Harmon
Oh my
Killebrew
God.
hit one at Memorial Stadium, 471 feet. That was the longest home run in Baltimore history, either stadium, until April 19th, 2019. Correa hit one 475 feet at Camden Yards.
So next time, say this in Baltimore history. You don't have to say stadiums because clearly Mike didn't hear it. I did, but I still thought it was Ken Herbeck was the first one I was going to guess.
Well, no, I definitely understood it, but I didn't want him to give me the answer before I even guessed. Jeez.
Oh, John.
That's all right, John. We still love you.
I thought those ones were fun. That we were all Baltimore related, and
no, it was terrific. Except I trickied myself.
You overthought, but no, I
gave you too much credit, John. My fault.
Well, and you know what's crazy? When Junior hit the warehouse, it was only a 460-foot homer.
Right.
So I don't know. I didn't have a chance to look up where Correa hit it, but he's not a big guy.
How far is it to hit the warehouse on the fly? Like the shortest
like
part?
four. It's under 450.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done as more regularly, I guess.
Well, it's because of the wind. It's because of the wind that goes down Utah Street. It prevents the ball from flying further.
You got to hit it with loft too. Like you got to get it up there too. I'll tell you, like I actually think during that derby that Juan Gonzalez hit the ball further because he hit the facing of the upper deck multiple times, I think.
Right, because Junior was only because I think the warehouse at its shortest is only like 445. But you'd have to hit it like right down the line, right past the foul pole.
Yeah, you have to get over the flag court. So the angle that you hit the ball, it's got to be a very specific angle to be high enough to clear the wall, but also go far enough to hit the warehouse.
Well, then I was reading something too that hotel there, because of where it's located, it makes it into like a wind tunnel. So it's nearly impossible now. When it was an open thing and it just was open, it could, but now because that the Hilton is right there, it creates like a vacuum in there and knocks all the baseballs down.
Yeah.
So it may never happen again.
I mean, it never
happened. Guys, I was going to ask you a question. I haven't heard anything, and I didn't know if you had. Have you guys heard any rumblings about the All-Star game coming back to Baltimore?
I've heard more rumblings of it not coming back to Baltimore than I have heard it coming to Baltimore. Like every year, they just like seem to pick another team. Like, isn't Philadelphia getting it in the next year or so?
Philly has it next year again. I saw they had it advertised up in the outfield. They had the big old banner, and I was like, "Man, are you kidding me?" Because they just had it multiple times.
Well, they just had it at Jacobs Field in Cleveland, and that opened after Camden Yards.
So did
Philadelphia.
So did Philly.
Yeah. Well, Philly opened what, 02 or something?
They might be. Look, in all honesty, they might be waiting until they fix the upgrades, including the sound system and the rest of that stuff, before they actually do it. That would be my guess. Because you heard they've always thrown their name out there, but since the city, the Stadium Authority decided to give all that money to both teams, the Orioles and the Ravens. Now I think it's more of a possibility that they host the All-Star game probably in the next, if I had to guess, I'd say the next 3 to 4 years, unless they already have teams after Philadelphia.
that's something that we should try to go to if it does happen, because that was the coolest thing I think I ever went to was the All-Star game at the Citi Field in New York.
Yeah, and I got to see one in Yankee Stadium. It was cool. But it's amazing if you look at every list of best stadiums in America, like baseball stadiums, Oriole Park is in the top 5 of every fan's like favorite stadiums to visit, despite the fact that they don't have the open air concessions that PNC has or that they have up in Philly. They still, because of the character of the stadium, it's kind of like Wrigley Field, they are always like in that top 5 list. And the fact that we haven't had one since what, 93 or 2? What was it?
93.
93.
93. Come on, man. That's like a lot. That's 30 some plus years of not having an all-star game when some of these other stadiums have had it multiple times. It's frustrating to see. So I hope you're right, Jason. I hope within the next handful of years that they are able to do that.
Well,
Did you guys see that? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to say, my understanding was that Angelos was a big, like that lawsuit with Masson and not willing to comply with Major League Baseball was a big reason. Now that that's done, but then also one of the more unpopular things to say is that like Major League Baseball didn't really want to have their biggest event of the summer coming to Baltimore in downtown city. But since then, a lot of that crime and a lot of that stuff is cleaned up over the last couple of years. So that could also be something that they're working towards as well, cleaning up the city to make it an attractive place for people to want to come and to be safe. So to me,
that's
that
a
could be a big.
huge. Well, sorry, Jason. Like that's a huge moneymaker for the city and a huge like revenue boost in terms of
Right.
Tourism and taxes and all that kind of stuff too for the city.
Yep. And Mike, what were you going to say before that?
No, I didn't know if you guys had seen the interesting the flip in the minor league venue stadiums, and not the stadiums, the affiliates of the Orioles. The fact that they're no longer going to have high A at Aberdeen next year. It's going to be back in Frederick again. Did you guys see that in the news?
I did. And a lot of that had to do with the Ripkins giving up all but 10% of their ownership, I think. And I mean, the Keys Stadium, they're talking about upgrades. I think they just underwent a whole bunch of upgrades as well out there. So that's a good ballpark as well. So it doesn't, I guess Hartford County is closer than Frederick to downtown Baltimore, but if you really did it, it's probably only by like
20
15 minutes.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
So it doesn't change anything for them. And then the only thing is obviously Norfolk being what is that, 3 hours away, something like that. So that's it as far as that goes. No, I think it's fine. I don't really have anything good or bad to say. John?
Did somebody else pick them up? Are the Ironbirds gonna get picked up by like Washington or Philly or something?
I read
sorry.
something. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, they're not going to get picked up by another team. They're going to be kind of what Frederick did this year. It's like an unaffiliated kind of. I think they had like the flying boxcar. I can't remember.
That's
they had
Hagerstown.
something out there.
Hagerstown has the flying boxcars.
Kind of, yeah, where it's like an unaffiliated type team, something like that.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, to me, whatever they need to do whatever they need to do to make things go smoother, keep everything in that bubble of 95, 695, whatnot. All right. So you guys have anything else you want to touch on before we go?
Nope.
No. Are you guys reading up and listening to your podcast for fantasy football? John, are you ready? Are you an expert yet?
I am not.
Oh, John.
Not quite like you, Jason. I know who to not take first, and I know who to wait to draft for a while. So I'm
Mike snuck into. We got Mike in another fantasy league with me, so I'm gonna have to stop giving out free information on this podcast.
I do love fantasy football, especially relative to fantasy baseball, which I think I've checked 4 times over the course of this year. There's something about the football season and just Sunday morning and setting your lineups and getting ready to watch NFL, all the NFL pregame shows and enjoy the games. And fantasy football gives you a way to watch the games. And obviously it's exciting, but it gives you a little more interest and stake in the games. So to me, it's more that than anything else, and gives you a chance to talk to. I hang out with I talk to Jason. I see some of these other friends I don't see from far away in other places, and we kind of communicate about our fantasy leagues. It gives us some common interest. So fantasy football is a great game.
Oh, it's a lot of fun too. I mean, just the football season in general. You can also do those survivor leagues that people do. I mean, I'm a huge fan of those. I get into a whole bunch of those and different things like that. But so John, this league that we got Mike in, it was me and our mutual friend Alfonso and Mike, and they're obviously it's a 12-team league. Well, they did the draft order selection last night, and we got selected 2, 3, and 4 back to back to back. Mike's picking second, Alfonso's picking third, and I'm picking fourth. So a lot of sniping going on and a lot of back and forth nonsense is going to go down.
Well, fantasy football is also a little bit easier because you're only doing it one day a week. I mean, you got to make sure you do it before the Thursday game, but the fantasy baseball and even like basketball or hockey and stuff, you got to be like paying attention on top of it every single day.
Well, baseball, yeah. So you can get in those leagues for baseball where it is every day, and I am in 2 that are like that, and they're pretty demanding. But then another one that we're in, and Mike's actually in that one as well. You just set it for the week, and then you're done. You can't make any changes. You still have to pay attention because you want to predict who's going to pitch next week and who's injured and what guys you want to pick up. But nothing goes into effect until that week after. So, but yes, you are correct. Football is easier. Everyone loves football. It's the most popular sport. So, in America, I should say, not in the world.
Hey, just real quick, reading up on Aberdeen and what their future is. It looks like they're going to be in the MLB Draft League. So I think they're going to be like a landing spot, like after the draft for some players to go and play, that kind of thing. So that's what it said, at least on the article I read.
Fabulous. All right.
Well, sign us.
Well, what'd you say, Joe?
Sign us off, Mike. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, we got to get Jess off to the Kesha concert. So
TikTok.
Let's do that. TikTok.
I don't want to Kesha listen to any of that music anymore, Jason.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised John didn't find the song for us.
Yeah, I can't believe
I did, but it's
copyrighted.
We're gonna get blackbooked. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even know if me reading the song was even legal, but
There's a gray area, John. We live in the gray.
No kidding. All right, Mike. Send us off.
All right. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget to subscribe on Red Circle, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your free podcasts. Please follow us. Give us a like. It helps us out in spreading the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. While you're at it, follow us on social media. You can find us at dadbods_crabcakes_sports on Instagram and at dadbods crab cakes and sports on our Facebook page. We also have X now, right? That's the Twitter thing, right, John? I'm just making sure. Good.
Just say Twitter, Mike. You're fine.
Yeah, Twitter. We can Twitter us. You can follow us on the Twitter. Is that right?
Follow us on the Twitter at crabcake_sports.
Crabcake_sports. I knew that, John. Perfect. And then you have a question you'd like to ask us or a topic you'd like us to cover, find us at our email address, dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. We'll try to get back to you and maybe even shout you out on our next episode. But until next time, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes, and never miss the game.
Bye-bye.